Hey, aloha Aina, kalama ki'ia, palikuna ko'ola, ka papamoko hina. So this is actually part 2. Our live kept on getting in and out, so we decided to just video it. So aloha Aina, this is Kalama from and we're in Oakland right now, celebrating Oakland Sol, or it's a queer, transgender, people of color, urban food sustainability cooperative. And so I'm here with Eddie Ora, and she's from Hawaii, who has a they stole her from us. But the question that I wanted to ask and bring up was that often in mainstream media, like they do most things, they try to like show it's like food sustainability, especially in urban centers, has been really whitewashed and straightwashed, and it's really in those spaces feels very uncomfortable for people of color, and even more so for queer and trans people of color. So it's one of those things that I'm really fascinated about what you're doing over here. So why don't you share a little bit more about what you guys are doing?
Sure. Yeah, so this is our farm garden that we take care of and we share with community. We are a cooperative of 6 queer and trans people of color, and we're right in the heart of urban Oakland. The BART is a frequent visitor. Can't get around the BART. But yeah, so in terms of...
So just a really quick, I'm going to do a little 360-degree view of like all the things that they've been growing, and you can't even really see all of it. But I wanted to just show you real quick, and then have Eddie address the whole thing about those spaces.
Yeah, so we share our space with community folks who want to host events and workshops and parties and meetings, and we maintain this garden to produce food for ourselves and also for folks who come and help us in the garden, including 3 young people who came through the summer to intern with us. Kalama and Keala came and helped us out big time yesterday.
Threw down with the chefing. We chefed it up.
Hella mea ono de. It was like so amazing. Really appreciate, having island love here. And yeah, I think for us, the important thing is to sort of maintain our political identities, even though they're very personal. As queer and trans people of color, we really, strive to hold space for ourselves and people who identify with us. And that's because
Fight gentrification.
And part of gentrification is this sort of like taking kind of really marginalizing the already marginalized folks, like the folks that we like identify with as like our friends, our homies in community. We're all, and I mean, people in this house are struggling with a lot of mental health things. Just being able to like mobilize ourselves has been really tough. It's been really tough, and it's not just because of this process of gentrification that's sort of taking over our town, but it's also like just the way that like heteronormative society is. Gentrification brings the whitewashing, but in terms of like being queer and trans, the heteronormative sort of culture that continues to exist pervasively here is really debilitating for folks in our community, and it's always a challenge to sometimes even wake up in the morning and do the things that we need to survive. So I like to think of this space as a sanctuary.
It's totally a sanctuary, and it's very family. It's very loving, and that's one thing I really love about it. It's very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to build a community and maintain it and protect it, and so I really give you a lot of kudos for that. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I've been wanting this space to be more intergenerational. I've been living here for close to 4 years now. It'll be 4 years in October, um, in this space, and being someone who's been here for this long, I definitely feel like I've seen a lot of the trauma that our community has been holding, and experiencing on a regular basis. And as queer and trans people of color, I think it's really important for us to have spaces like this where people feel like they can
Family.
come home to family.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that's really different about having like people of color spaces is that family is so important to us versus the individual. And when you go into a lot of queer and trans places that are like not really focused towards people of color, it feels very much about the individual versus and that's not all for all cases for sure, but the emphasis on creating a family space and having that communal really like in a communal, not like a kind of I won't say necessarily fake. That's kind of a mean way to put it, but like this, like the feeling of people who come from like larger families, community family, like it's really it's a different kind of a feel for when I stepped into your space. It felt very familiar to me. And I definitely felt a part of it. And very like it was very comfortable, very fun. So it was awesome.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful. Look at this place. It's so crazy. It's like you want to do it because we did like the first part of it a little bit in the first video. You want to show since the drilling's done? Show what else you guys are doing over here? Other projects?
Yeah, sure.
So this is agave. I was like, holy crap! That's the biggest. That's the biggest aloe I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But this is actually the biggest. This is for real deal.
Tentacle forest.
Pretty crazy. A little willow over here. Here's a little arbor to the left of us.
Yes.
So pretty. We had breakfast there. Your fire pit. Yeah. Sunflowers.
Yeah, and this is like sort of the picturesque Sol like
symbol.
Yeah, the sunflowers against the motel. And we just expanded our chicken coop recently. Last week, actually, with our youth interns, it used to be half the size.
This is awesome.
Yeah. I think he's gonna start drilling down.
Yep. Pretty soon.
And then we got a playground.
Hi, guys. We're just in about 20 seconds.
20 more seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got like hella peaches growing.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
We're on peaches.
And fennel forest.
A fennel forest. I love your guys'. Look at how abundant this whole place is. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's really special.
So thanks so much for letting us come. Yeah. And be a part of this. Okay.
Well, I'll just say one more thing.
Okay, sure.
So these guys are here to do like a inspection of the ground. Let me go inside. These guys are here to do an inspection of the ground because we're actually in process of trying to purchase our building with the support of Oakland Community Land Trust, and we're trying to do this project of buying our building because we didn't want to get displaced in the long run, considering how properties get bought up here by a lot of tech folks. It's really intense, this process of gentrification, from this side of town to like the north side of town. So we're in East Oakland. East Oakland is kind of the last frontier of gentrification for Oakland. Everywhere else has been massively gentrified, in that there's a lot of beautification that the city has slated for all of Oakland as a way to draw in businesses and make newcomers feel welcome, which is not, new. I think settler colonialism and the process of like kind of making foreigners feel comfortable is like something we experience on the daily in Hawaii. And so I think, and like in other places, like all of this development is about really really about displacing the indigenous people and the people who've been here generationally. Oakland has historically been a very Black town, and it has now it's like reached its lowest percentage of Black folk in our city, and so it's really hard to see so many folks living houseless, especially the people of color across the street, all around town.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take you guys around a little bit for a we're gonna show you guys around a little bit. We're gonna go around the community and show you guys a little bit about what we're talking about, and talk a little bit more about gentrification in the next video, because it's a pretty complex idea, and I think for those who, especially local folks who feel it, know it, experience it, hate it, really kind of being able to kind of talk about what it means and what it looks like. But thanks so much for joining us. We'll do the next video on the road. Aloha, Aina. Ahui ho.
How do I stop?